Supposed biblical error. Did Mark confuse the geography of the Jordan River? Mark 10:1 says that Jesus left there and went to the region of Judea and beyond the Jordan. However, skeptics will note the previous chapter says Jesus was in Capernaum, and then they ask if Mark just claimed Jesus was coming from Capernaum and would need to cross the Jordan River to get to Judea. It is quite clear Judea and the region of Capernaum are on the same side of the Jordan River. So did Mark make an error in the location of Capernaum or where the Jordan River flowed? Well, this alleged error can be addressed by actually reading what Mark said and not skipping over words. There is an important word in Mark 10:1 which changes the whole meaning of what skeptics are assuming. It is the word "and." Mark is saying Jesus went to Judea and beyond the Jordan, not to Judea, which was beyond the Jordan. Mark is saying Jesus went down to Judea and then beyond the Jordan River. If I said I was on a road trip and I went to California and beyond the Mississippi, you would understand quite clearly I was listing places I traveled to, not claiming California is on the other side of the Mississippi River from where I started. Plus, we know from John 10:40 that Jesus was heading to a place where John once baptized. John 1:28 tells us this was in a town called Bethany, which was located just north of the Dead Sea and on the other side of the Jordan River. So Jesus went from the region of Capernaum to the region of Judea, and then he crossed the Jordan to where John was baptizing. Mark is not in any way saying Capernaum was on the other side of the Jordan River from Judea. Thus, this supposed contradiction can be resolved.
Okay, this made me remember one thing, because at the number one, I did mention history is not something that I have deep interest in, and I'm quite weak generally about it, except when there are something of importance that make certain specific history become of interest to me. Geography is another thing, right? So growing up in school, history and geography, if my kids see my grade in these two subjects, it's bad. So that's the thing though. When something becomes importance to you personally, I'm talking about myself, suddenly I pay interest. I need to know where that is. But other than that, purely for geographical knowledge, unfortunately, it's not a good habit. I'm not defending myself to be, growing up not knowing, not interested in geography or in history. But because, for example, why I become interested in the Sirah, because the importance associated or affiliated to it, right? Hence, I need to study this, and I become actually genuinely interested in it. Similarly with some history, some period of history in my region, because largely in our official history about my region, about my country especially, it skip over how Islam come into this country. Suddenly Islam was already big. Islam is already the established power. Before that, there's a different power, but that transition is totally skipped over in the official history narrative, which is interesting. At that point, when I'm small, because I'm not interested, so I didn't realize that. But after I grow up, why is this part of history missing? Because I'm interested to know how come Islam come to this place and suddenly took over as the power of the region, right? And then when I read those books, it is based on interest. I genuinely become interested in that subject, right? And from there I understand. This is actually what happened, and why perhaps certain colonial power do not want us to know that, etc., right? Similarly with geography, right? So meaning that when we go to Sirah, so Makkah is here, Medina is here, Taif is here, for example, right? And the Roman power is here. So only when some importance there that triggered, I need to know this history and this geography, myself it's limited to that, right? So I'm not saying this is good, because if you really want to become, if I have like a junior youngsters that ask me, should I know about this thing? If you really want to be, future leaders, etc., this is important to know. General history, general geography, etc., right? Yeah. Anyway, I'm just pointing that out because this video highlight geographical things. It made me remember my background in geography. Anyway, thank you for watching. See you next time.